excellent. You covered a number of bases very concisely and clearly telling a very compelling story. So thank you very much for that, Dermot et al. Yeah,
it's our pleasure.
I know you're just at the leading edge of it, but I can see from the contribution that everybody played a full part in that.
William, I think for the purpose of the recording, for people who may not have seen the video, it might be useful just to give a very brief summary of some of the key points.
Right, okay. Go on, Sean. Yes, do that.
Perfect. So the overriding view is how can we improve opportunities for those in society who don't have the opportunities, for those who don't have the access to knowledge, to resources which are required in order to not only succeed but to thrive. So we very much looked at this through a number of approaches, and Dermot's going to give a brief overview of his experiences working within the Scouts and his charity work previously getting people into employment through the BAME community. Dermot?
Oh, that's put me on the spot. Well, I think it's about believing that anybody can achieve anything if they're given a bit of help. And I've found, I think more than anything else, is if you really believe in that young person, they will eventually catch that from you and start to fly. And then it's about, I suppose very simply, I think it's about leveling up the playing field and opening the door. So if you haven't been taught some basic skills, how can you compete? And if you don't have a network to open a door for you, how will you get that first opportunity? Because almost all of us, somebody's helped us through a family network of something of that sort. So I think that's what I would say. I'm sure Vicky would have an opinion too, because she has tremendous experience with young people.
I'm not sure if we still have Vicky. We still have Kay.
I'm here.
Oh,
yeah.
I've missed you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We work with 130 in the community. There is great chance to put kids together and equal them. Some of our parents have £1 million mortgages, and some of them are on house benefits or whatever. So all of those kids work together. They all of them growing together. But as Dermot says, some of them has a better chances because the parents have connections, the parents have money to put them in a better schools or this and that. And in Scouts, you teach them all of them same. None of them know to cook when they come to us. None of them know to dig a hole right way, use the tool and all this. So putting them together that way and giving them that chance and opportunity, they grow together and they achieve sometimes you can see the kids who don't have much at home or something achieve more than the kids who are really spoonful fed and all this. So yeah, I agree fully with Dermot. Giving them opportunity, have people who believe, they build the confidence, they see they can do it. We always kind of empower things. There is no difference between me or Kay or Dermot or Lida or lady in a kitchen who cook for us, and kids get the same message. So there is no difference between the less fortunate, money fortunate kids or whatever. So that's it. That's for me.
No, thank you, Vicky.
Sorry, Sean. I think Nigel, if he's there, would go a lot further and say that actually the harder your journey has been, the more able you are to succeed because you've had to overcome barriers every single day of your life. And that is actually fantastic training. I don't know if you're there, Nigel.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I would go.
Oh, we've lost you just there, Nigel. It's just gone on mute.
Yeah, I would go further and say that those individuals who've had the hardest adversity, if they can see that as an opportunity on their route to taking self-responsibility, can achieve things that many other people can't achieve, simply because one of the biggest predictors of successful outcomes is the ability to be resilient, to keep on going in the face of incredible adversity. And in a really tough start in life, if they can see that adversity as an advantage, they can make fantastic improvements in their life. And the magic moment, as I said in the video, seems to be the moment they take self-responsibility. And we've developed a system which we can use to take young individuals to the point of self-responsibility and really embrace it. It's taken us decades to develop it, and we can talk about it in more detail if you want.
And I think just to add to that, Nigel, there's two components to it, really, isn't it? It's firstly, how do you create high performing within an individual? But then secondly, how can you integrate an individual within a team environment? And I think that's something with the Scout work and the approach that Dermot and Kay are very experienced. We're able to not only help the individual thrive, but also to integrate them socially within a unit that functions effectively as well.
Absolutely. Self-responsibility is a multi-layered phenomenon, and the more aspects of it we can cover during any program, the better the outcomes for the individual.
Kay or Dermot, is there anything you'd like to add in terms of the team building components?
I don't really think so, other than what I've always done is looked around me to where is this done exceptionally, and it doesn't matter what skill we're talking about. And I just believe that we should give young people the absolute best we can find. And so one of the best ways I found to teach leadership skills, apart from scouting, was through the British military. And they're extraordinary at it. So why can't we use more of it? The same happens in sport. So I just think that's what we have to do, is wherever we see excellence, grab it and stick it into one's youth programs. And that's all I've ever done.
Right.
Kay, I can see you're nodding.
Yeah.
No.
Sean.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
Sean and Dermot, I think we're coming to the end, but I would want to just give an opportunity to maybe members who have not spoken yet. Toyin, a lot of what Nigel was saying resonated. The story is, there was a time when I used to be Toyin's teacher back in the day, and in Islington. So there's a lot of lived experience around this table, Nigel, that articulates with your words very closely. I just wonder, are there any, one would like to make any comments before we wrap it all up?
Yeah, I just want to find out from either Dermot or from Sean in terms of when the young people come to you and then you see them progress at the end. What would you say are the key ingredients? Is it the individuals who make the difference in their lives, or is it something else? Have you been able to sort of capture the magic bullet, as it were?
I would say individuals. You have to build a relationship with that young person. They have to trust you, and they have to believe that you believe in them. And if you have a high expectation of them and can see a good future for them, they'll start to take that from you. And then my job is to make sure they have the tools to do it and keep, just gently pushing and encouraging. I think most of our world with young people is focused on catching them doing something wrong. And if we turn that round and look for things that they're doing right and build on that, and then Kay and Vicky do that instinctively, which is why this Scout group, it works so well. It's the same principle. And, I've seen excellent police officers through things like the Prince's Trust Volunteers Programme do exactly the same thing. So I don't think it matters who you are, as long as you have that belief in that person and it's clear to the young person that you have it. I mean, it has to be genuine. You can't fake it. You can't be pretending. They're very smart. I mean, particularly looked after children. I mean, they can spot at 20 paces whether you're real or not.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dermot. Any other comments, observations?
I've got one, William.
Yes, Mike.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I managed to click on the video. And one of the key elements, having worked in youth work, especially in the areas that you're talking about, that is particularly important from what you've outlined, is building up the individual's level of competence. Because so often now, when kids get into trouble, the level of confidence massively outweighs the level of competence. So they don't have the skills to deal with the threats or the issues, and make the right decisions. So what you're doing does sound to really building up the competence part of it, so the confidence then is justified.
I think that's absolutely right. I mean, one of the things I use a lot if I'm working with people nearer the workplace is to teach them how to present. And I think you need to be able to present at a standard better than most corporates can, or people you see in the corporate world, and that's teachable. It takes a lot of practice, but it is teachable, and the confidence that then comes with that competence really does change people. And it almost doesn't matter how you achieve that, but that's feeling proud about a skill you have is very important. And it doesn't matter whether that's on the playing field in a work environment or a scout environment, it still works. I mean, you see it in first aid. I've seen young people jump into a situation on the street and they feel so fantastic about themselves afterwards.
Yeah. As someone with a disability that grew up in that area, I totally understand what you're saying.
And just to add to that point as well, my background's obviously in sport, and there's a famous quote from Muhammad Ali, which I'll paraphrase, but essentially it's the repetition of positive affirmation which builds confidence. So to add to some of the points, we catch them doing positive things, we reinforce that, we encourage them, and eventually they start to change their inner schemas or beliefs about themselves that actually they can succeed and they can do well. And as soon as you start to break through that barrier, we have all the resources to help them to thrive, and it's incredibly exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other contributions? This has proved a very rich after presentation chat. Yeah. No? Okay. Well, first and foremost, I need to thank Rachel Campbell for making all this possible. She's done all the work, all the stuff behind the scene, making it sure we can access the technology and use it. So thank you very much, Rachel. And then our contributors tonight. We are two excellent teams of people who have shared their views with us, shared their journey with us, and in the process enlightened us in terms of working with young people and understanding the many different strands that exist to working with young people. Toyin, you mentioned the magic bullet. You know as much as I do, there is no such thing. In order to get this thing done, we need 1,000 different initiatives, different groups doing what they do extremely well to build that confidence, that aspiration within the young people, and to tool them up to take charge of their lives as much as they're able to do in a real world. I'd like to finish by just thanking everyone, council members as well as presenters for coming along tonight and making this such a rich experience. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Sir William.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.